Hey, what's up guys, it's Uchiha here, back with another part of What If Naruto A Mother's Love. Today is going to be a double upload, and yeah guys, I will be uploading the next part of What If Naruto was separated from his family as well today, so yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah guys, if you haven't, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And without further ado, let's continue with our story. It was October 9th and Naruto was celebrating his 12th birthday. As he waited for the guests to arrive, Naruto ran around the house excitedly as he always did on his birthdays. Kushina watched him dash about with fondness, but also with a bit of sadness. This would be the last birthday where he would be a child. In a little more than 7 months, he would graduate from the academy and earn his hitate. He would be an adult legally in the eyes of the village. In some ways, he's been an adult for some time now. In other ways, he was still a child, a kid. And in one way, it didn't matter how old he was, he would always be with her as her baby. Without warning, she grabbed him and pulled him into a embrace. She happily planted some kisses on his face. "Mom, why are you hugging me?" "Do I need a reason to hug my baby?" "Mom," Naruto whined. "I'm 12 now. I'm not a baby anymore." "Yes, you are. And you are my baby." She hugged him some more. "Are you too old to be hugged by your poor mother?" He smiled at her happily. "No, Mom, you can always hug me." "Well, thank you, son." She laughed and hugged him even more. Link break. Kushina looked at the small crowd that had taken over much of the first floor. Given her concern for security, a part of her couldn't help but worry at so many people within her home. But the large part of her was pleased that so many people and Naruto's classmate had decided to attend his birthday. He had invited everyone in his class except for Sasuke and Sakura, and most had come. It really looked and sounded like a normal 12-year-old birthday party. The dining room had all sorts of food and drinks as well as a large birthday cake. In the parlor, music was playing and some of the children were dancing, including Naruto and Hinata, of course. All of Naruto's friends were here: Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba, and even Lee, who was between missions. There was also Neji and Lee's other teammates, a girl with her hair up in two buns. Yashi was present and had permitted his other daughter Hanabi to attend. The poor dear was a bit out of the place as she was youngest than the other children and was used to more formal environments. There was Kakashi trying to ignore Lee Sensei, who was challenging him to a variety of contests. Might Guy was certainly friendly enough, if a bit eccentric. He had gone directly up to Naruto and began to praise his fires of youth, whatever that meant. Nathan whipped out a horrendous lime green spandex dotrated which matched the one he was wearing. The man had somehow brainwashed Lee into wearing one and was trying to inflict the same on her son. Naruto accepted the gift with a weak smile and promised to try it on later. Link break. Ino danced with a few different boys but spent most of her time eyeing Naruto like a hawk eyeing a plump rabbit. Hinata stayed glued to Naruto's side, guarding him against Ino and the hordes of lesser fangirls. Link break. Jiraiya was pestering poor Tsunade for a dance. Kushina had warned her against any displays of violence in front of the kids. By the way, the vein in Tsunade's forehead was bulging. It looked like Jiraiya was seriously pushing his luck today. Link break. Sarutobi's arrival caused quite a stir. Most of the students had never met him. Once they were over the initial shock and awe, they began treating him like a kindly grandfather, a role he was quite happy to fulfill. Link break. Kushina frowned at the sight of Mizuki. She had never trusted or liked him. She watched as he approached her son. He put a friendly hand on her son's shoulder and spoke to him for a bit. He soon nodded and began leading his sensei towards the stair. "Going somewhere, son?" "Oh, Mom, Mizuki-sensei wants to see our family library." "That's okay, isn't it?" She lifted an eyebrow and looked at the man. "Looking for anything in particular?" Mizuki smiled at her. "Not really, but I am a teacher after all, and I could hardly pass up the opportunity to see the Namikaze library." She nodded. "Of course, just so long as you'd understand it's a private library, and you are quite welcome to read anything you like, but we don't allow anything to be removed." Mizuki nodded happily. "Of course." Link break. He looked over the many rows of books. Some of them really were quite interesting. He wouldn't have minded spending a few afternoons here, simply reading. But of course that was not the reason he was here. "This really is a fine collection, Naruto. It may well be the most comprehensive one in Konoha. You should be very proud." "Thanks." Naruto smiled and rubbed the back of his head. He really liked Mizuki-sensei. Mizuki always encouraged and full of praise. When he'd ask for an invitation to his birthday party, Naruto had been very flattered. "You know, Naruto, I'm curious about something." "Yes, Mizuki-sensei?" "Well, I don't see any jutsu scrolls here. Anywhere. Oh, we keep them locked up in here." Naruto pointed to the door at the far end of the library. My mom keeps them locked up, but she'd take out whichever ones I want to study. Are you studying something now? Mizuki asked curious. Naruto nodded. I'm studying a few B-rank wind jutsus and one of my dad's original creations, Flying Thunder God technique. Mizuki didn't have to pretend to be impressed. You're studying that jutsu? Naruto nodded, but looked unhappy. Yes, but it has really been going slowly in the process. Well, that's not surprising, Naruto. It is an extremely advanced A rank technique. Your father's mastery of it was one of the reasons he was so extraordinary. But Rasengan, an A rank technique too, and I mastered that in the less than a year of time. You mastered Rasengan already? Mizuki shook his head. He most definitely did not want to have a fight with Naruto. Naruto looked a bit embarrassed. Oh, that's supposed to be a secret. Please do not tell anyone, Mizuki sensei. Mizuki smiled down at Naruto. Don't worry, Naruto. You can trust me. Link break. Where is your sensei? Kushina asked when she saw Naruto came down the stairs on his own. Oh, he wanted to stay and read some books on his own. Naruto simply answered. Did he know? Kushina sounded anything but surprised. And by any chance, did he ask where the jutsu scrolls were? Yeah, Mom, how did you know? She sighed and ruffled her sensei. Naruto, you're really going to have to work on these blind spots of yours, huh? Never mind, she shook her head. I'll explain it tomorrow. Tonight, you just go ahead and enjoy your party. Her son shrugged and hurried to where Hinata was sitting and waiting for him. She meanwhile approached the Hokage, Link break. Mizuki hurried, knowing time was of essence. The tiny 10 by 10-foot room had hundreds of jutsu scrolls. He would gladly have traded a year of his life for just one undisturbed hour in this room. There was a spelling mistake there, sorry about that. Anyways, on to our story. Within the room was a small desk with about a dozen scrolls just laying on top. Surely enough, these had to be the ones he had used most recently, as Flying Thunder God was among them. Maybe he was thinking of taking that one for sure. His luck was in as he found Shadow Clone technique was also on the desk. These two scrolls would please Lord Orochimaru greatly, while he was here to take a couple of more jutsus for himself as well. It wouldn't hurt. He carefully concealed them beneath his Chunin vest. Now he just needed to calmly stroll out of the front door. Opening the front door of the room, he stepped quickly out into the library. He was immediately grabbed and slammed down to the floor. His arms were painfully gripped from behind. Well, I'll give you credit for having guts. Despite being a teacher, you don't seem to have much in the way of brain, though, Kushina thought. Mizuki looked up to see Kushina and the Hokage frowning down at him. Behind him were a pair of anbus with a firm grip. Why did you do this, Mizuki? The Hokage asked. Mizuki said nothing as the anbus swiftly disarmed him and liberated the scrolls he had taken. The Hokage merely sighed. Take him to the Ibiki and interrogation office, but leave through a side entrance. There is no need to disturb the children within this house. Link break. Naruto thoroughly enjoyed his 12th birthday party. He danced the whole time with Hinata, had cake and ice cream, and got to open a small mountain of gifts. He thanked each and every person as he opened their gifts. At the end, though, he noticed that one person he was very close to didn't have anything to give him. Godmother, you didn't get me anything, did you? Naruto pouted. Tsunade smiled. Oh, but I do have a gift for you, Naruto. Well, where is it? I'll give it to you a little later. You have to wait. When? I just said wait a little later, you turd. Sorry, Brad. She refused to say anything anymore. Link break. The guests enjoyed themselves and many stayed late. It was only as midnight approached that the mansion was nearly emptied again. By the time only Kushina, Naruto, Hinata, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Kakashi, Shizune, and Sarutobi remained. Tsunade smiled at Naruto. Naruto, would you like me to give you your present now? Sure, Naruto said happily. Actually, before I give it to you, there's something I want to announce. She looked over to the Hokage. Would you like to do the honors, old man? Sarutobi shook his head. No, Tsunade, go ahead by all means. Well, to make a long story short, a couple months ago, the old man here asked me to take over for him so he could retire finally. What? Jiraiya screeched. Why her? Why didn't you ask me? Sarutobi said. I asked her because she was one of the legendary Sanin who I knew the council would accept without dispute. So am I, Jiraiya shouted. Yes, but she's not a pornographer, Sarutobi said tiredly. Jiraiya sniffed. My novels are not pornography. They are adult-themed literature and hugely popular, you know. You don't know, don't you, that if you were Hokage, you wouldn't be able to go on any more of your disgusting research trips anymore. Tsunade said icily. Jiraiya smirked. I didn't say I would do it. I just said I should have been asked. Tsunade shut her eyes. Anyways, the old man asked if I would take over for him as becoming the Godam Hokage. What did you say, Lady Tsunade? Shizune asked excitedly. Tsunade smiled wearily. Well, despite my batter's judgment, I said yes. Everyone but Saratobi began to shout and excitedly congratulated her. Well, I guess you finally got over your negative feelings for the village, Kushina said. I did, but I'm not actually doing this for the village. You're not? Kushina said in surprise. No, Tsunade answered. Jiraiya smiled. Are you doing it for the old man? Nope. Tsunade replied. Then why are you doing this, godmother? Naruto asked. Tsunade leaned down to put her face at Naruto's eye level. I did it for you, Naruto. For me? He said in a small voice. She nodded and gently stroked his cheek. You, Naruto-kun, wanted to become the Hokage. So yeah, I did it for you, because I love you as my godson and I want you to have your dream fulfilled. And I'm going to make sure that it is. Reaching down, she pulled out her necklace and displayed the crystal for him. Do you know what this is? Naruto shook his head. No, godmother. This is the Shodai's necklace. It was given to me when I was a little girl by my grandfather, the Shodai Hokage. The crystal is unique. There are only two like it in the entire world. With this necklace, you could buy a pair of gold mines and the mountains on top of them. But that is not the only thing that makes it so special. For you see, this necklace also comes with a curse. A curse? Naruto was interesting, definitely rising in this thing. Tsunade nodded. That's right. Only those who are destined to become Hokage can own it. Twice in my life, I gave this necklace to someone that I loved. To my little brother Namaki and the man I loved, Don. They both had dream to become Hokage and protecting this village. That was their dream, Naruto, as it is your dream now. They both died in a battle not long after I gave it to them. Losing them shattered my heart for a long time. I didn't think I would be able to care for anyone else again. She stopped to compose herself. But then again, I got to know you, Naruto-kun. I watched you grow up and see just how much you have been ready to sacrifice in order to protect this village and its people. And I've seen how much you love and treasure the people of this village, even though a great many of them hate you. You reminded me of just why Don and Namaki wanted to be a Hokage. In you, Naruto, I feel their dream is still alive. She quickly rubbed her eyes, knowing that you has healed my heart and allowed me to love again. She reached behind her neck and unclasped the necklace. After Don died, I swore I would never give this to anyone else, but I've decided that once more, just once more, I will put the odds on you. Tsunade, you can't. It's too much. Kushina gasped. Tsunade looked at her and shook her head. All this is a proof of my faith in your son. She turned back to Naruto. Naruto-kun, I accepted the position of the Godam Hokage, so I could make sure you would reach your dream one day. Become the good man and great ninja I know you will be, and when the time comes, I will name you as my successor. She placed the necklace around his neck. Accept this from me, and with it my blessing as well. She leaned forward and kissed his forehead. Naruto hugged her as hard as he could. I love you, godmother. She gladly embraced his son. I love you too, Naruto. She smiled down at him despite the tears in her eyes. Happy birthday. Saratobi's retirement as Tsunade's displacement of him was announced early in November to general celebration, as Saratobi had expected. The council approved the nomination without a murmur. On New Year's Day, Tsunade became the fifth Hokage. Kushina had graciously agreed to allow her friend to have the job on the side. She and Naruto had both stood there beside her on top of the tower as all the Konoha cheered their new Hokage. As he stood there, Naruto had closed his eyes and pretended for just a moment that they were all cheering for him. Link break. In January, it finally happened. Hinata beat Sasuke in a spar and rose to be number 2 in the class stands. People were also beginning to notice her ability with medical ninjutsu and talk about her as the next Tsunade. She made a medical cream she shared with all her classmates, including Sasuke, which worked wonders on any cuts and bruises. Hinata was coming into her own as a powerful medic nin, who was also an excellent combat specialist. People began to say that she would make a perfect partner for Naruto, who was also a close combat specialist. Sasuke did not miss the talk. On one evening in January, he was at a dinner with his mother Mikoto and his uncle Ryuki. Everyone acknowledged Sasuke as a both genius and heir to the clan until he turned 16, though Mikoto was the clan head. Technically she was, but many of the clan members felt she was too kind and too soft to be in charge of the Uchihas. However, most of did not want to offend Sasuke by removing her. The solution had been the have Fugaku's younger brother help and advise his sister-in-law. In title, Mikoto was clan head, but in fact Ryuki held greater sway and his advice was usually followed. Sasuke understood the reality and was not bothered by it. He loved his mother dearly, but she was not a ninja. She was too kind-hearted and too gentle to deal with the harsh realities of ninja and Uchiha life. He would never, ever admit this, but a part of him was jealous that his mother was not more like Kushina, a woman who was loving and tender to his son and viciously lethal to anyone who threatened him. I need help with something, Sasuke said casually as he, his mother, and his uncle ate. What is it, dear? Mikoto asked. I would like Uchiha to begin giving Haruna Sakura lessons in medical ninjutsus as well. Oh really? Ryuki frowned and took a sip of tea. You expect me to just order her to take an apprentice, and one who is not even of the Uchiha blood? Ryuki shook his head. Such things are not done. Son, why do you want Sakura to learn medical ninjutsus? As she asked you for help, Mikoto asked. Sasuke shook his head. She's not very powerful, but she has excellent chakra control. If she's going to be my partner, I need her to be as strong and effective as possible. For someone for her abilities, being a medic nin is obviously the best choice. Ichihala is the only medic nin in our clan. It would help me if she would give Sakura some instructions. Sasuke tried to smile. She has learned from Tsunade, so if she teaches Sakura, it will be a little like she studied under Tsunade, though at second hand. Yuki smiled and took another sip of tea, which is not nearly as good as learning at first hand as Yuga Hinata has done. Yuki saw the tiny flash of feeling in his nephew's eyes at the mention of Hinata's name. Naruto will end up with her on his team, I'm sure of it, so he will have a powerful medic nin to heal him and protect him. I want to have the same kind of support as well. Dear, does Sasuke couldn't want to have a medic nin? His mother asked. Sasuke shrugged. No, but once I've talked to her, she will. She sounded very nice and sure. Ryuki sighed. I will tell Ichala what you ask and leave the decision to her. I will not order her to take on an apprentice. Thank you, uncle. If she didn't agree, Sasuke would talk to her himself. He was sure he could win her over. Mikoto looked at her son unhappily. Sasuke, do you love this girl? He looked at his mother with surprise. What? What are your feelings towards this girl? I know I can count on her and that she can help me reach my goals. I think she will make a perfect partner for me. He said simply. So you have no feelings for her after all? He shrugged. I've actually started to like her a bit and trust her to do as I say, but you have no romantic feelings for her whatsoever. His mother said sadly. Sasuke, I have seen the look in her eyes when she is with you. The girl is in love with you. I know. He replied coldly. That is why I can trust her. His mother stood up from the table, suddenly no longer hungry. My son, you are becoming like your brother. He looked at her in outrage, as if she had just slapped him. I'm nothing like him. Are you sure? Mikoto spoke with rage, anger, and quickly left in dining the room. Sasuke and Ryuki sat there in silence for a moment. Don't be upset with your mother, Sasuke, Ryuki said quietly. She is a kind and good woman, and she loves you. But she is not a ninja, and we cannot expect to understand all the truths of ninja life. Sasuke nodded and decided to let his hurt feelings go. His mother was not Kushina, but he loved her and would not blame her for not understanding Wing Break. The Anbu captain connected with a hard punch to his opponent's jaw, sending him to the ground. Alright, Naruto, how about we call it a day? Kakashi tried not to sound winded, wishing for once that Naruto would want to do something other than spar whenever he came over. Ah, come on, Nissan. He was quickly back on his feet. Just one more time, please. Kakashi shook his head and pulled off his dog mask. The last 3 spars have been just one more time. Take a pity your big brother. Not all of us have your energy. Fine. The two of them began heading back inside. Nissan, will you be getting a team again this year? Kakashi looked at him and sighed. He knew where this was going. I had one each of the last 5, so I imagine I'll get one this year too. And before you ask, I don't know what the assignments will be. Naruto gave him a huge smile. Wouldn't it be great though if you were my sensei? Kakashi smiled. I would like that, Naruto. I would like to try and be for you the same sort of teacher and role model your father was for me. Of course, you'd have to pass my test first. Oh, don't worry. Me and my team will definitely pass any test you throw on us. Naruto spoke with total confidence. Oh really? Kakashi smirked. How can you be so sure when you don't even know who will be on your team? I know all the strengths and weaknesses of my classmates. Whoever my teammates are, I'll lead us to victory. His smile slipped a bit. So long as I'm not with stuck up bastard, Sasuke and Sakura. Ugh, Kashi sighed. You know, Naruto, not all the Uchihas come with horns and a tail. You told me about Obito. I told you about Fugaku, Itachi, and Sasuke. So far, none of the Uchihas I've met have been heroes of any kind. He shrugged. If I met one who convinces me otherwise, I'll change my opinion. Until then, I'm not trusting any of them. Guilty until proven innocent, eh? Guilty until proven. They're not all out to kill me. He frowned. I mean, how can you ask me to trust such a deceitful bunch? Fugaku supposedly died while traveling in bear country, and Itachi isn't even listed in bingo book as a missing nin. The only reason I know the truth is because my mom is in the council. Why are the Uchihas allowed to just bury the truth? Kakashi shrugged. They're ninjas and as such understood the power information has. Anyway, I'm sure you wouldn't begrudge them a few secrets now, would you? Naruto gave him a sour look. You know, the way you defend them, people would think that the clan liked you. Why do you stand up for them when they all try and pretend you don't exist? I owe it to Obito's memory. Besides, it's just a little petty jealousy that a non-Uchiha has managed to copy more than 1,000 jutsu. So far as I know, none of them have gained even half that many. Which is quite funny. Well, whose fault is that, I wonder? Naruto sounded downright offended. They should look to you as an example of what they can accomplish with some hard work, but instead they're just jealous of you. Kashi sighed. Even if some of them are jealous, that's not the same as having all of them out to get you. I never said that they were out to get you, Kakashi-ni-san. He shook his head. Let's stop talking about the Uchiha clan. It's leaving a bad taste in my mouth already. During break, Sakura was staring up at a frowning dark-haired woman wearing a chunin vest. So you are Sakura. Hi, she said in a small voice. The woman's frown deepened. I can tell by looking at you, you're weak. She reached out and actually took a hold of her arms. You're not muscle tone at all. How do you expect to survive on the battlefield? With looks and wits? Do you think some Sandin will decide not to loop off that pretty little head of yours because he thinks you're cute? She began to feel very scared. No? No what? The woman said angrily. No, sensei. The woman nodded, slightly moldified. But the frown hadn't left. Sakura was beginning to wonder if it ever would. My name is Uchiha Ichala, and from this point on, you will address me as Ichala Sensei. Do you understand me, Cherry Blossom Girl? Yes, Ichala Sensei. He nodded. Let me explain something to you. Right off the bat, Brad. I don't like you. Each word was punctuated by a finger poking into her huge forehead. I never wanted an apprentice, and if I ever had, I had looked for a student from my own clan. I agreed to take on this burden as a favor to Sasuke. As such, I really don't care about your feelings or whether or not you hate me. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to hate me. But if you do what I say, you will become a strong and capable Konomichi and a medic nin. Maybe you'll even live long enough to be some sort of help to Sasuke. From now on, whenever I am in Konoha, you will come here after classes for 3 hours of physical and medical training. I won't just be teaching you jutsus. It's obvious you need to build up your physical strength and chakra capacity as well. I also wouldn't be shocked if your taijutsu was mediocre. For at least the next couple years, I will be training you. Years? Sakura said weakly. Chala leaned her face down into Sakura's. But what's that? Years, sensei. Sakura answered in a panic. That's right. I expected to have the joy of your company, Cherry Blossom, for at least the next couple of years. But Ichala sensei, I will be graduating coming May. I know that. Ichala said with icy, and her looks clearly said she thought Sakura as an idiot. Even after you have been placed on a Genin team, I will expect you to still come here for additional training. Now let's start building up some stamina into that weak body of yours, and with that, 10 laps around the Uchiha compound. Run, maggot! Sakura ran and Ichala stayed right behind her, screaming at her to run faster. Sakura tried not to cry and remind herself that this was all so she could be stronger and better help for Sasuke. Lingbraid, the last semester passed quickly. Hinata solidified her position and turned number 2 in her class. About halfway through, she finally managed to finish a full 10-hour workout. This is, in return, made Kiba even more determined to work harder. He eventually got up to 8 hours. Near the end of the semester, Sakura began to noticeably improve her taijutsu and stamina. She even demonstrated a couple of basic medical ninjutsus, though her skills did not compare to Hinata's. Before they knew it, the last official day of class began. One by one, they were going to given the exam. They all passed, of course. The exam was really just a formality. Only a very weak ninja would fail it. Ruka stood proudly looking at 30 smiling faces. All of them had put on their new hitates. When we began our 4 long years journey, there were 50 of you. Now 30 of you remain. I have no doubt that each and every one of you will go on to have a fine career, make Konoha and your families proud. I want you all to know that I am proud of all of you who have endured and reached this day. I am honored to call myself your sensei and want you all to know that should you ever need advice or help, my door is always open. You are all ninjas now and you're all adults, but as ninjas, you are the lowest of the low. Please keep in mind that as such you will need to continue to work hard and pay attention to your new sensei. Please report back here tomorrow to be assigned to your new teams and to your sensei. Oh, and one more thing. With a smile, he began to walk up steps beside the desk, and all students looked at him wondering what was going to happen. He approached Shikamaru, who was taking his usual nap. With a grin, Iruka leaned down and put his mouth right next to his ear. Shikamaru! Ah! The boy shouted and dropped out of the seat. The entire class burst in laughter. Link break. Man, what a drag. I can't believe Iruka-sensei pulled that lame stunt. Kiba laughed. Ha! I can't believe I never thought of it. You know, Shika, whoever your sensei is, he won't let you get away with doing nothing at all the time, you know. Naruto said, you're going to actually have to put some effort into it this time. Don't remind me. Shikamaru grumbled. Shikamaru-kun, I am sure whoever your sensei is, that thing will be alright this time. I hope so, at least, Hinata said with certainty. A little bit. As they approached the door, Ino and some of her foes got in front of it to block them and the entire classroom, exiting. Hey everyone, I'm announcing a graduation party at my home tonight. All of you are welcome. There'll be food, drinks, music, and fun. She smiled at Naruto. Will you come, Naruto-kun? He looked to Hinata. Will you want to go, Hinata-chan? She nodded. Sure, Naruto-kun. Ino's parties are always fun. Count us in then, Naruto said with a smile. Great! I'll see you all there. She smiled brightly and led the classroom out. Link break. I'm very proud of you, Naruto-kun. She hugged her son tight. From this day forward, you are a leaf ninja and an adult. She tightened her hug a bit. But please never forget that you will always be my little Naruto-kun. He smiled. I understand, Mom, but please don't call that except we're alone men, okay? No promises there, kiddo. She laughed at his unhappy expression. Now I have a graduation gift for you. Is it a katana? He asked eagerly. She smiled. Yes. What? He leapt about 2 feet into the air. Kushina opened the cabinet and produced a sword in its scabbard. She held it out to him. Congratulations, my son. You are now shinobi and ready to carry a katana with you. Thanks, Mom. He enthusiastically took the sword from her and pulled it out to get a good look. He smiled. It was perfect. It was exactly like hers. The small curve in the blade, the way the metal just shined, and those perfect razor-sharp edges. Now remember, son, a katana is not just a weapon. It is a part of you. You must now name it and give it just a little bit of your soul. I know, Mom. He was so excited, something suddenly occurred to him. Hey, Mom, you know I never asked you. What do you call yours? She smiled and took her out. I call mine Homeward. I always believed that no matter what, how much trouble I was, it would always help me find my way home again. Have you chosen a name for yours? He nodded and placed his left hand over the blade. You are Defender, because you will help me defend and protect all the people in this village and my loved ones. He then let the sword cut into his palm. Taste me and know me, for you are a part of me from now on. Kushina nodded, proud and sad at the same time. Well, son, I have to go somewhere, and I'll be back before you leave for your party. Where are you going? Oh, I'll just have to take care of something. Link break. Ino rubbed her hands together eagerly. This is the night. Tonight I'm getting Naruto very first kiss. Oh, give it up, Ino, Sakura said. I mean, the way those two are, he must have already kissed her. Sakura said. Nope. Ino replied with conviction. Naruto admitted over lunch that they never kissed. But even if that's true, what makes you think tonight will be any different? Delona asked. I mean, you had 4 years and nothing. What makes you think tonight will be special? Eno grinned. I have a secret weapon. My folks just got in some of these. Excitedly, she pulled out a small jar with a flower with white and red leaves. Oh, is that a Vermala? Sakura asked. Eno nodded happily. It sure is. The red symbolizes love and the white one means purity. These flowers is a symbol of pure love, and any girl can kiss any boy who stands underneath one. Delona said. Exactly, Eno could. All I have to do is get him to stand underneath it, and he'll have to kiss me. And I just know once he kisses me, he'll realize how much he loves me. Sakura looked at the little plant and wondered if there was any way she could maneuver Sasuke underneath it. There's one small problem with your plan, though. Do you really think Hinata is just going to stand there and let you kiss him? Green turned evil. Well, that's where your girl comes in. Let me explain my plan and how we can make Operation Get Naruto's first kiss a success to begin with. Link break. Iruka sighed. He should have known that this is what it would be about. He had actually thought that he was summoned to Hokage. To her office, it might have been to discuss a new assignment, but no, it was about, I want to assure you, Iruka, that this has nothing to do with the team assignments, the Hokage said to him with a smile. You are, after all, the instructor, and that decision is fully in your hands. I would never order you to do something you did not wish to do, she assumed and assured him. However, we are a bit curious as to where you will be placing our children, Kushina said in a light tone. Indeed. Yashi said, well, my intention was to place Naruto on a team with Delon and Kiba. He frowned a bit. By all right, Shikamaru should be on that team as he was the weakest student and Naruto the best. But the heads of the Nara and Yamanaka and Akamichi clans were all insistent that their children serve on the same squad. Hinata will be on the squad with Loran and Ronto. I see, Tsunade said flatly. Interesting choices, Hiyashi said neutrally. Kushina nodded. Very, very interesting indeed. Have you considered, however, that given Naruto and Hinata's long friendship and special relationship, that they must excel where they're allowed to work together? Indeed, Yashi said. Hinata has grown since working besides Naruto. I see no reason to believe she would not continue to do so for as long as they were partnered. I recognize how strong their bond is, Iruka said. But given that Hinata is second in the class, I thought she should be on a separate team. Putting her on a squad with Naruto would overbalance them. Kushina smiled. Too much of a good thing, huh? Well, I certainly find no fault with your logic, Iruka. The Hokage spoke with a polite and pleasant tone, but I think you will agree that there are times when exceptions should be made. Were you willing to see your way clear in this case? The Hyuga clan would be in your debt. Yashi said plainly. Namikaze already considered you a friend, Kushina said cheerfully. If you could just grant us this tiny favor, we would consider you an even better friend. Well, they're at least polite about it, which is better than the Uchiha clan, and they aren't as annoying, begging like the Nara, Yamanaka, Nakamichi. Like most time in Konoha, the clans held the real power. Iruka supposed he should be glad he was at least allowed to do as he was seeing fit with the most of the students. I understand then, he said, simply nodded. Wonderful. Tsunade said, I thank you as well. Yashi said, great. Kushina replied, oh, and by the way, we'd like Kakashi to be their sensei. Iruka and nodded. He decided not to bother telling them Kakashi was always slated to be Naruto's sensei. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this part of, guys. I hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, please stay tuned for the next part of what Naruto was separated from his family. And this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing out. Peace.